Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my first review for the very first episode, the premiere for Game of Thrones Season 5. This one will be for Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 1, which is called The Wars to Come. Okay, and spoiler warning, if you guys have not seen the premiere episode for Game of Thrones Season 5, you're probably going to want to watch it before you watch my review. That said, if you guys are not aware, I did a video earlier on today letting you know that, fortunately for us Game of Thrones fans, the first 4 episodes of GOT Season 5 have actually been leaked online. So you can watch them all. Like I said in that video, just don't install anything, be careful, and, enjoy. Enjoy. Support HBO anyway, though. Do support HBO if you subscribe or you buy buy the series on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. Just support what they're doing. I mean, obviously the show is of incredible scale. If you look at, it's just a TV series, and just look at the scale of what they do. Shooting in different countries at the same time, pretty much all year, preparing for even just 10 episodes, 15-minute episodes, 52 minutes. Really bringing us some of the highest quality television that's ever been done, or maybe arguably the highest quality that's been done so far. So, the jumping on point for Season 5, the start off. So I watched Season 4, Episode 10, the finale for Season 4 again, The Children, man, what a finale. Season 4 was just incredible, man. It was my favorite season of Game of Thrones so far. Even though I did like Season 1 quite a bit, of course you had Eddard, and you've had a lot of different characters throughout, but Season 4 up till now is my favorite. Season 5 starts off, we're kind of used to at this point, obviously it's the 5th season, we know how Game of Thrones starts off. Luckily this season we can watch all 4 episodes at once pretty much, which is awesome. But we know the initial episode is, we're kind of getting in touch with everybody again. We're getting to see where every character's at in the Game of Thrones, the Westeros world, or not everyone, but a lot of the different groups. And as usual, you have a lot of different stories happening at once. We can see what's happening at King's Landing to start. We have the funeral for the mighty Tywin. Freaked out when you see the stones, right? With the kind of the painted on eyes there, and some really nice setup for this season of, okay, now that the head honcho of the Lannisters is gone, everybody, yes, Tommen's king and all that, and that's all well and good, but your leader, you're sort of you're not official, because he's not officially king, but your head honcho, your Lannister kingpin is dead. What's going to happen now? We can see it with the conversation between Cersei and Jaime that, now that Tywin is gone, they're going to come after them. And Jaime knows it, and Cersei seems to be a little bit... of course, she's focused on, Tyrion, calling him the monster. She's always called him this little monster, that he was the one who did it, and of course wanting to find him and not wanting to see everybody else as enemies. But as we can see from Marjorie's reaction, perhaps, right? We're going to see what's going to happen. Obviously, now that Tywin is gone, it changes things for the Lannisters. It changes things for Cersei. She's always had her father there to say, "Daddy, Daddy." Everyone's always feared her because she is the daughter of the mighty Tywin. So, people react to her, treat her in a certain capacity, in a certain way. And of course, she was, now she's Queen Regent. She was queen as well too. So she's used to her whole life being able to command people around. And now she is in a state or a position where, yes, she has her son, but at the same time, you've got Marjorie in there, and you've got Kevin, her uncle, Sir Kevin Lannister. We saw him real quick there. We've seen him before in the series too. Glad they're able to keep the same actor, all throughout. It just fits well. We saw him a lot in season with the war with Robb, so that would have been like season 2, season 3 was when we saw him pass before, and obviously he's going to become a huge character this season because he's going to be one of the Lannisters that's going to have to step his game up. Same with Cersei now that Tywin is dead. So very excited. This season. Can't wait to watch the other 3 episodes. And I'll do my reviews sequentially after watching each one without watching the further. So excited to see what happens with her. Obviously, we got to see Lance a little bit there, who has, I guess, become a man of their gods now. The seven or whatever. So is there going to be some betrayal there? We know that they had some extramarital relations before, and of course that's illegal when you're married to the king. Stirring the pot, getting ready for some awesome stuff there without getting too much into any spoilers for anyone who's not read the books. That's as much as I'll say about that. I liked the funeral sequence. It was quick, and we did get to see the kind of flashback where she had met this fortune teller witch, which I do not recall reading. It probably was in the books, and maybe I just don't remember. But that was pretty cool. The blood ritual where she tells her future, and she's laughing. And why is she laughing? I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that this season. So for anybody who hates Cersei, I think you're really going to enjoy season 5. And even maybe further on, depending on how this, what we see and how much it covers. Right? Good stuff. So I like the funeral. I like the flashback sequence. That was good. We get to see Meereen. We get to see the unsullied white rat who gets his throat cut, which was shot really well, really surprising. You see him kind of, he relaxes the viewer too, and then out of nowhere just and we're starting to see the beginning of with Daenerys. Things are not going as smoothly for her as they once were, and she may have overstayed her welcome in Meereen. If her goal was to take over Westeros or conquer Westeros, take the Iron Throne for herself, she has she may have waited a little bit too long. We're going to have to see how that goes. And again, we don't want to get any spoilers, but we can see her dragons. One of them, the black one, obviously one of the poster for season 5, Drogo, I believe. He's gone. She hasn't seen him for a while. And then the other two seem to be very pissed at her for locking them up there. Of course, as Jorah said, or was it Jorah, or they're dragons, Khaleesi, they can never be tamed, right? I believe so, last season. And I think he's right, too. They are cold, if they're reptiles, I don't know, the dragon, they're cold-blooded, aren't they? Aren't they cold-blooded, Well, they're definitely, warm, hot, breathe fire, that whole thing. But, they're not going to necessarily share bonds like that. And she has been focused on other things. Not like she's been spending a lot of time with them, and it's not like anybody likes being, chained up in a dark, basement type thing for a long period of time. So, of course, excited to see what's going to happen with Daenerys as well this season. Got the start of some good stuff. Sons of the Harpy coming up later that episode. So, very cool as we can see that maybe conquering could be easier than ruling. Permanently, right? And being a good person, being a moral, maybe empathetic, I would say is a good word for this, just leader in a world of unjust people may not necessarily work, right? Outlawing some of these things that the slave owners who have the power, in that society, now you've given more power back to the slaves, but the slaves are still slaves in the mind, and they don't have the skills and they don't know how to, operate at any kind of different capacity than to be what they were. And it's a drastic change in that society. So she's taken some very quick, drastic changes, instantaneous. And, are we going to see some backlash from it this season? I'm assuming we will. So I did enjoy those scenes as well, too. Those were all good with Dany. Favorite stuff, of course, which ended off the episode, was the wall. Of course, we had Jon, we had Manson, and I do like Mance. I do. I think Mance is he's a cool character. He's someone you can relate to. He just wants what's best for his people. He has stuck to these principles his whole time beyond the wall, where we do not kneel beyond the wall. He refuses to do so. If he does, he's going to be seen as a hypocrite by his people. But as Jon points out, yes, but can't you look beyond yourself and do what's best for your people? He also says he doesn't want his people to be wrapped up in a war, if they get inside the wall, to be fighting for Stannis or any other king inside these, I guess it's a civil war, not really, these wars that are going on in Westeros. But it's kind of like, in order for you to get beyond the wall, in order for you to join Westeros, you have to accept that it is a place of war. We're constantly seeing wars break out and things happen and struggle for power, assassinations and all kinds of craziness happening. So if you really don't want to be beyond the wall, you may have to accept that is kind of a fate that your people are going to have to endure. If they want to be, within the wall, then, they're probably going to have to fight for their freedom within it. They have their freedom on the outside, but you've got the White Walkers out there. So where are they better off? Maybe Mance sees it as they're better off beyond the wall than fighting in this inner turmoil. That said, with the numbers and with the numbers that they have and the discipline, they're given the discipline from Stannis. Some of maybe some weapons, some better tactics and strategy. Horses, and he could, if the wildlings were to join with him, it would be an immense army. It would be such a powerful force that he may be able to take out all of. At that point, he would be probably able to conquer. Mance not wanting that, sticks to his initial principles. We do not bend. We do not bend the knee. We do not do that. So sticks to his guns. You got to respect him for it, and burns for it. I like the way they shot it at the end. It was really scary. It was really uncomfortable to watch as you see the fire coming up, and even though it's a natural reaction when you see you're going to die. It sucks that being burned alive is the way that they do it. I did like, though, that Jon, and I felt like, again, Jon, a really kind of a, is he a classic good guy? I feel like throughout the series he, I don't know if I can say if anybody is simply just good or bad in Westeros and in Game of Thrones. I don't know. But I loved when he gave him the arrow. I thought that was great when he just gave it to him. Rather than seeing him just charcoal, just burn all the way down and have to suffer through all that, he gives him the arrow so that he can, he can go and then burn. So his brain can, his heart, his brain can shut off. It was a mercy kill, and I loved it. I thought that was great. That was my favorite part of it. It was shot perfectly. Everything was great, and you have to respect Mance for sticking to his guns, for sticking to his principles that he created with his people. Could he have gone the other way, and for it to make sense for his people that he was doing it for them? Yes, it could have. Yes, it could have. But that was the choice that he made, and that's what he wanted to do. So that's what he chose to do. Maybe he feels they have a better chance because they do have so many numbers that maybe he feels they have a better chance on maybe a new leader from his side will come up, and then they'll do something else. We'll have to see what happens, of course. But maybe in his mind, that's what he would have been thinking, I would think. So, tough choice for him, and he chooses a hot death, unfortunate. But that was sad. I did think that scene at the end was sad. It was good, though. It was well done and everything, but it was sad for sure. So let's see, what else do we have? We saw some quick stuff with Brienne, some quick stuff with Brienne kind of losing her direction, not knowing where to go, what to do now. We saw a quick scene with Sansa, of course, and Baelish. And then let's wrap things up by talking about the Tyrion stuff. So Tyrion's in a cool place. He's in Pentos, and he's been saved by Varys, and Varys has saved him, but also and gives him a choice. What do you want to do? Do you want to use your skills and attempt to better, Westeros, better the world, or do you just want to sit here and drink yourself to death, basically? Just sit here, live, and just drink until you die. And of course, as people, as we are, that's not a great fate. In most cases, we would rather take a chance, take a little bit more risk, and have an adventure or do something. Life, living is about doing things. It's about living, being alive, and that means doing things. We as people, as if we are to serve any kind of function, it is to do, it is to be, it is to live. That's what living is: doing things, action, doing. You're just sitting there, sort of in your own little. It's a nice looking, but it's kind of like a jail cell in your own little jail cell, where you have to be careful of everyone that sees you. You stick out like a sore thumb because, well, you're a dwarf. If anyone sees you with golden blonde hair, it can raise some problems. So he has no freedom, basically. He either takes a chance and he gets out there in the world, or he just sits there and drinks himself to death. So, yeah, cool. So he decides that, as if he can drink himself to death on the way to they're siding with Dany, which is cool, and I'm interested to see how that goes in the TV series version, and whether or not along the way she's going to lose her power, lose her place, or if Tyrion's going to be able to reach her in time in season 5. So we'll see how that all happens. It's a great start to what should be an awesome season. I'm going to post this, and then I'm going to go watch the second episode and do the second review right after this one. Man, I might get tired by the time I do all 4 of these. The downside of them releasing everything at once is now we got to wait for, like 4 or 5 weeks. I haven't looked at the exact date, but we got to wait weeks and weeks to get the 5th episode because we got all 4 at once. But that said, I did really enjoy The Wars to Come. Great setup for another season. All kinds of turmoil happening, of course, as this is Game of Thrones. Would we expect anything else? I don't think so. That'll be my review for the first episode because I'm just excited. I want to go watch the rest. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. Great starting point to a season. Of course, the stuff with Mance and Tyrion for me. Mance and the Wall, Tyrion, Dany sticks out to me as the biggest parts of the episode. Well, of course, also Tywin. I thought they might focus a bit more on the funeral of Tywin. It actually went through kind of quick. So there it is. Anyway, not a bad thing, just means we can get to some other stuff. So 9 out of 10 from Trev. Let me know what you guys thought about the premiere, if you enjoyed it, how much, and I'll talk to you guys pretty soon for the reviews for the other episodes that have been leaked so far. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. If you're new to the channel, you want to subscribe, bottom left, go ahead and click the subscribe. You'll get all my other reviews as well for this weekend and going forward for Game of Thrones. And if you like the video, please thumb it up below. You want to help support the channel, please share, please favorite it. That's it for the first one, guys. See you for the second. As always, it's Trev. Saying peace.